Hello, hi, how are you guys? Welcome to my first video of 2024. I hope that you all are doing well. I hope 2023 was great. Well, we are already into the third month of 2024, but happy new year guys. We haven't seen each other in a while. So, how are you? How are you all? What have you guys been reading? What have you guys been watching? I have read a total of 41 books last year, and I would say that it's pretty good. So while I was brainstorming that what should be my first video of 2024, obviously it needs to be a wrap-up, right? But wrap-ups are a bit boring right now. I wanted to do something which is there everywhere, it's trending there, and if you couldn't guess it already, well, you could have guessed it already. It's there in the thumbnail, it's there in the title. But I am going to tier rank all the books that I have read in 2023. So without further ado, let's get started. So me being the noobest of noob person there, it took me more than an hour to finally figure out all of this. So if things go south, please bear with me, alright? Okay, so I have made 6 categories, as you can see. The first one, the top tier, the absolute best, is absolute masterpiece. Obviously, it needs to be there. They are the most favorite books of mine, the books that quite literally changed my life. That's that tier. The next one is I'll read it again. The books that were like clear 5 stars, the books that I loved from the core of my heart, and I would love to go back to them. So that's there. The next one is pretty good. The book that was good for my heart. I felt good reading it. It had something new to offer. That kind of books. The next one is okay, fine. Yeah, you wrote a book. You put into your efforts. I read it. Maybe I liked it. Maybe I didn't. But yeah, okay, fine. that's the day. The second last one is Lost Potential. The books which I felt like had great potential but couldn't really do the craft of execution well. I think the second last year is for those books. And the last one is, why did I read this? The book that made absolute no sense. That is just a number in my Goodreads reading challenge. It offered me nothing new. I quite literally feel that they were a waste of my time. So yeah, the worst ones, they are going in this last category. So let's start with the first book that I read in 2023. It was Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The only Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I have read before it was Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and you all know that I absolutely adore that book. So the Evidence of an Affair will go to pretty good. It was not Evelyn Hugo level, obviously, but I was engaged throughout the story, and it's novella. It's very short. It holds up, right? It did its work. The next one that I read was Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky, if I'm pronouncing it right. And oh my god, it quite literally blew my mind. I mean, yeah, I'm confused, right? Should I put it in I'll read it again, or is it yeah, it's a masterpiece, it's amazing, but I think it's going into I'll read it again because it was pretty intense. It was something that I haven't really read before, but I cannot say that it was, the best of the best that I have read out there. I obviously want to read more of Russian literature this year, so let's see how it goes. The next book that I read was The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak, and undoubtedly it goes into pretty good. I mean, it had a bit of spiritualism in it, spiritual context to it, where a mother of a teenage girl who just declared that she's gonna get married to the love of her life, and kind of accuses her mother of not feeling love, not knowing what love is, while her mother is, opposing the idea of actually getting married that young. And then it's the journey of the woman reading a manuscript written by someone who probably understands love and what love truly is. And the manuscript is about Rumi, his life, and Shams the Breeze. Shams, I think I butchered the name. Shams is better. and it's a beautiful ancient journey in, like the exploration of love and longing, and what is your relationship with self, knowledge, maybe God. So yeah, that was a pretty good read, I must say. The next book that I read is called Crave. It's by Tracy Wolf. It is a academic school of paranormal creatures setting. There are vampires, there are dragons, there are witches, and it's really fun. It's really fun. Okay, so I am gonna put this one in pretty good because I was not expecting it to be as good as it turned out to be honest. The writing is a bit childish, but the storyline is great. I loved it. It has this fusion of, like Harry Potter Hogwarts vibe with Twilight vibe. So yeah, a kind of nostalgic read, I can say. And yeah, I went on to read the whole. I want to read the whole series. I am just reading the third book now. The second book, Crush. Well, this actually motivated me to read the whole series because it was really intense. Okay, there was this survival game going on in this one, and we all love that thrill, right? Okay, so the next book in the list is Margaret Atwood's My Evil Mother, and I don't know, I really absolutely loved The Handmaid's Tale. It was a book that have changed my brain chemistry, but I felt this was, yeah, it was okay, fine. It is a story of a young daughter and her mother, and how her mother kind of assumes that she is a witch, and her teenage daughter is bit irritated, bit scared. She doesn't really know what to believe, and that's how they navigate through life. So yeah, that's a short novella. It's okay, it's fine. The next book that I read, it was a review copy. It is called Life is a Movie. It is set amid a warlike situation. It is a very sad book, but the execution was not essentially good. It dealt with the topic of poverty and lost childhood and misogyny, but it was not executed properly. So I think it will be in lost potentials. The next book, oh my god, the next book is the book that I keep on raving about. The book which comes to my mind if someone asks me which is my most favorite book. It is The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue, and straight up an absolute masterpieces because, oh my god, the way V.E. Schwab has written this book. While reading this book, I was constantly getting this feeling, that exact feeling, which was reminding me that why I love to read. Like, I wanted to finish the story, but I didn't want the book to end. It's beautiful. It is a fantasy book, but I can say it is not exactly high fantasy. It is somewhat close to magical realism, where a young girl in a very desperate moment wishes from something from the god who answered after dark, and her wish is granted, but obviously it's a deal made, and there are negative sides to it. In exchange of freedom, she ends up bargaining her essence in this world. She ends up being someone who is invisible. As soon as she is out of someone's sight, she's out of everyone's mind. That's how she lives. She has freedom, but she has no sense of attachment to anyone. And is it freedom? Is it a blessing? Is it a curse? How she deals with it? Is her relationship with the dark, or entity? Well, it's beautifully written. That's the story of The Invisible Life of Eddie. Next book is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and it goes up. I'll read it again because it's a gem. It's a masterpiece. If you want to start reading classics, Frankenstein is where to start. It is written about 200 years ago, but oh my god, freaking blew my mind off. How classic refers to something which is relevant even today. If this book is not relevant, I don't think this book is right now. Frankenstein is a must read. If you want to start reading classics, start here. This is the cue. The next one that I read, okay, they have a bit in the alignment. The book book that I read is Hades Persephone retelling, and I loved it. It was I read it again because it was my first dive into Greek mythological retellings, and oh my god, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Hades, oh my god, Hades' character is that peak morally grey character that you love. Like, everything about him reeks of danger. You want to love that guy. So, yeah, that's a touch of darkness for you. The second part, A Touch of Ruin, is where I lost interest, but eventually I went on to read my list, which is the third book in the series. So the Touch of Ruin goes into, okay, because Persephone was so fucking irritating at this point, but it's fine because Hades is fine. So yeah, yes, that's there. The next book again was a review copy. It was a story of love and repentance. It was of death and avenging death of someone close to you. It's pretty interesting, I must say. It goes into, okay, I liked it. I will say, yeah, intertwined love is pretty good. If you want to pick it up, you can. It's a bit of thriller, it's romance, it's in an Indian setting, so yeah, give it a try. Next book is Summer I Turned Pretty. Why did I read this? Why do people love this? I have read better fan fiction than this one, okay? I have read so many fan fictions which are so better than this one. The writing felt like it was written by a 7-year-old or so. It was horrible. I think even a good 11-year-old with good hold on will write stuff than this. So yeah, that's my take on Summer I Turned Pretty. The next one is A Good Girl Like to Murder, and it was good. Read it again? I don't think I'll read it again. It was pretty good. I liked the feel of the book, the way it reads. I was not satisfied with the ending, even though I am a person who roots for shocking plot twists. But I don't know, it just didn't hit it. Yeah, it's a good read. Obviously, it's a good read. If you haven't read many thrillers, this is where you can start because it's beautifully written, so easy to get into. But and about Good Girl, Bad Blood, which is the second book in the trilogy. I haven't read the third book yet. It goes into hospitality because I felt like the ending of the book had almost absolutely no association with the ending of the book. It's written wonderfully, the writing is great, but I didn't like the story. I didn't like the ending. So yeah, and we say that the last book is unfinished, so I am really excited for that one. I am going to read this year, so let's see how it rolls out for me. The next book is a Japanese work of fiction. It is called Sweet Bean Paste, and I think I'll read it again because it's soft and cozy, and it is about those Dora cakes that Doraemon have into, like stitch into your memory as one of the most awesome things out there in Japan. It's their story. It's lovely. It's heartbreaking. It's something that you should read. Next book is also Japanese literature. Sorry, it's Korean literature. It is recommended by and Sugar of BTS. So I had really high hopes from this one, but this goes to, okay, fine. So apparently this book is about a boy who doesn't have mental capacity to process feelings. Like, he doesn't know when he needs to be angry or sad or in pain, or like he can feel the basic emotions that we all human beings apparently get to feel. And so that is that. But I don't know if it was because it's lost in translation. I didn't find it something extraordinary. It was, I don't know, it was okay. Okay, the next 3 books are apparently the most talked about books on BookTok and Instagram community. It is a series. I haven't read the book yet, but I am gonna read this. Twisted Love. It goes into, okay, fine, because no matter what people say, I didn't find Alex to be a good book. Yeah, that's my take. You can come for this. I like him, and yeah, let's move on. For Twisted Games, I'll get into pretty pretty good because this is actually the book in the series that I really liked. I loved Reason. He gave me major Crips worth vibes. The overall setting was interesting. The story was full. I liked it. And Anna Huang's writing is very easy to get into. So if you are looking for a good romance book, you can pick her books up. Specifically Twisted Games. Though it's a part of a series, it really doesn't matter. It's basically the romance of 4 girl best friends. Each individual person's story of finding the love of their life. The next one is Twisted Hate, and it goes into why I hate this. I didn't like it. I didn't like the enemy stores that they have tried to do here. It felt like it was just, they were all frustrated, horny, and they just found each other. Stuff. That's on Twisted Hate. The next one I read the audiobook of. It's a novella. It's called Silent One, Lost Potential. The story started really well with this twin girls, 2 sisters who gets involved. Mind you, they are like tiny girls. They are probably 9 or 10 years old, and they get involved into a murder case, and how the truth gets revealed, what actually went down, what exactly happened there. But apparently I didn't like the book that much. The audiobook was really good. It was good to listen. Okay, the next one in the list is Ambedkar's India, and it goes into, I'll read it again, beautiful collection of speeches and works of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, something we all need to read. We need to remind ourselves that this man was behind making the biggest democratic document, biggest political document out there in the world, I'll say, because India is the biggest democracy, and he was the biggest brain behind the Constitution. So yeah, it's amazing to read about his works. It's amazing to get to know how he viewed at the problems of India then, and how his worries are still relevant. The next one was an audiobook. It's called Sleeping Dogs. It was pretty good. I liked it. It is about a doctor, and again gets involved in a murder investigation, and what actually went down in there. Is she involved or involved? Well, listen to it. It's available and it's a pretty good audiobook experience, I must say. Next book is the book that I wanted to like, but it goes into why did I read this. It is called The Dangers of Smoking in Bed, and you can tell I loved the title. I wanted to love the book, but it is graphic horror, and I realized it's not for me. It can be something that you might like, but not for me. Okay, the next one is One Little Mistake, Lost Potential, I would say. It started off really well. It's again an audiobook, an Audible original. It was good. It started off by a wife being accused of endangering her own child's life because she was ill with claims that she was not. So were the pills placed there? Was she wrongly accused, or is she really the culprit? Yeah, that's how it proceeds. The next one is The Cruel Prince, and I think it goes into I'll read it again. No, it goes into pretty good. I liked it. I didn't love it. I want to read the rest of the books in the series. That's all I want to say, because it's a very beautiful fantasy setting, and I am a for Joe Duarte. Yeah, that will be out. The next book that I read is called The Tale of Simpler Times. It goes into okay, fine. It is filled of very beautiful illustrations. So yeah, doesn't that, and very tiny little tales from Mauritius, which was very relatable apparently, even for an Indian kid, because seems like the kids in the 90s didn't really have very distinct childhood. It was very, very similar. So the next one was also a review copy of mine. It is called When Will You Die? And I felt like, why did I really read this? Yeah, that's all. It's a story about a family where a broken family apparently, where the mother and are just not doing well. They keep on fighting. And the elder sister of the house, she finds a pen pal and fell in love with that guy and apparently decides to make her life better. But then there are few things which are broken, and when you try to repair them, you apparently end up cutting yourself, hurting yourself. So yeah, that was the story. It was lost potential, but yeah, it was more like, why did I even read this? Okay, the next one is called The Coldest Case, and it was pretty good. It is a very short novella. I think it's an Audible original. It's thrilling. It's about mysterious stuff happening with the help of online gaming platform. It was pretty interesting and very appropriate apparently in this world where cybersecurity is a huge threat. So yeah, the next book that I read and really wanted to love is Conversation with Friends, and it goes in Lost Potential. I loved Normal People by Sally Rooney, one of those books which really changed my brain chemistry, but not Conversation with Friends. I had very high expectations, and it's nothing, like there was nothing extraordinary in it. There are few highlightable lines and quotes in the book. That's that. Even the plot is vague. We know that in Sally Rooney's book the plot is vague, but everything was just fake. Yeah. Okay. The next book is Heaven by Miyoko Kawakami, and absolute masterpiece, gem of a book. Changed my perspective of looking at this world. It is about bullying. It is about lost childhood. It is about a nihilistic approach towards life, and it just blew off my mind. It has a lot of graphic, heartbreaking things going on, so please read. Trigger warnings for reading it, and if you find like you can digest some hard-hitting realistic story, please read this one. It's apparently one of the most beautifully written books out there. Okay, now here comes in the phase where I decided to read Harry Potter series. Yeah, my first love, the love of my life, the thing without which my life would be completely My life would be completely incomplete. My life would be incomplete. Yeah, that's okay. So the first book, I'll read it again because why will I not? I'm already rereading it. So, Philosopher's Stone, the first book which takes us to Hogwarts, and the journey begins. Gem. The next book is Chamber of Secrets. Goes into absolute masterpiece because apparently I'm very biased. This was the first ever Harry Potter related thing that I consumed. Like I got the CD, the Hindi dubbed CD of Chamber of Secrets, and I had watched it till it had scratches, right? So yeah, probably a few hundred times. I'm biased. It's masterpiece. I love how the door opens and a bathroom becomes something distinctly different. I was at awe as a child. I am still at awe. How can someone even imagine of it? Imagine of such wonderful, insane thing. So yeah, absolute masterpiece. The next one is Prisoner of Azkaban. A lot of people claim it to be their most favorite Harry Potter book, but it's not like that. But I'll read it again because obviously we come to know who Sirius Black is. We come to know the secrets. It starts from Prisoner of Azkaban when the story starts getting a bit dark and a bit mature. We start seeing complex feelings. Yeah, that will be all. The next one is Goblet of Fire, and it is my most favorite of all the books. I know it's not something you usually hear, but hear me out. The Triwizard Tournament, oh my god, it's remarkable. It's beautiful. I love it. It has my heart. Order of the Phoenix, very important book. The book I need to read like a Bible because every dot starts connecting from henceforth. The next one is Half-Blood Prince, and yeah, I'll read it again. Deathly Hallows. Okay, it starts off pretty well, but I felt like at some point, I know it's not something I should say, I should be loyal to my fandom, but yeah, it goes into pretty good because apparently it was very boring at some point. You know, the time when he was actually looking for the Horcruxes, I think, what the hell is happening? And everyone got very irritating. I know it was a setup of ongoing war, but yeah, it's pretty good. Obviously, I love it, obviously. I'm gonna read it again, obviously, but yeah, it was not as good as all the other books. Personally, please don't come for me. The next one is Man. I have a full dedicated video for it. I'll be attaching it somewhere on the screen. Loved it. Gem. Very realistic take on war of the Battle of Hogwarts. Harry's dead in this universe, and apparently something happens between Draco and Hermione. Yeah, so at this point, I'm already in the rabbit hole of reading Draco Hermione fictions, and that's what I read till the end of the year. So the next one is called 13th Night. Very beautifully written, goes into pretty good, very cute, soft Hermione fanfiction. Here, all the Death Eaters, like obviously the world war has ended, and now we have a time. Hermione is working for the Ministry of Magic, and all the people who were associated with the Death Eaters, they are going through this program where their memory is being wiped out, and they are sent into Muggle world to live there and restart their life. They have no freaking idea that there is a magical world. They were part of it. They know nothing about it. Their brain is a clean slate. And here apparently we realized while reading this that how good and evil is a byproduct of our upbringing. That's that. Draco could have been a very different person if not for Lucius and Narcissa Malfoy. Yeah, that's there. It's a beautiful story. The next, I think this was the last book. Yeah, this is the last book that I read in 2023. I rated it 4 stars, but for me now it goes to yeah, absolute masterpiece. This is a very realistic, mature sequel to the Harry Potter series, where Draco is living with the guilt of being a horrible person, and he one fine day just meets Hermione at a Muggle cafe. Yeah, Draco goes to a Muggle cafe in this one, and he loves coffee. Draco and Hermione start discovering each other's flaws and starts healing each other. It's a beautiful journey. Draco is constantly sabotaging. He is going to a therapist. He is not able to come out of that pit that he has fallen into. And Hermione is just an incredible person. And for her, he apparently feels like he have to be better, because obviously she deserves someone better, but she can't really let her go. So he decides to become better. That's kind of love story that I love, that I adore. That's a gem actually. You guys need to read Remain Nameless. It's beautiful. It's magical. It's just so beautiful. Their romance is chef's kiss. Yeah, so apparently we have come to the end of tier ranking all the books that I read in 2023. I hope you enjoyed this video and I could give you some good recommendations out of it. So I'll be see you guys soon. Till then, keep reading good books.